Hello and welcome to this week's Liminal Tarot. This is the week of February 5th to 11th, 2023. This week we have, today's a full moon in Leo, and we have all the planets going direct. So February actually promises to be a month where, they're going to be very highly energetically charged. January was just beset by a lot of chaos and obstacles, but we now are going to start to see a chance for things to start moving forward. And judging from the reading this week, things may start to move forward very, very quickly. There's a real interesting combination here of unexpected events, uncertainty, and a whole variety of feelings surrounding them. There's a tendency, we want change, but we also want to kind of cling to the way things are. And there's a need certainly here to integrate new energies that are coming in and to work with them and not to try to resist them, which generally only leads to I've often said that the changes that we embrace, they flow more naturally. When you keep resisting a change that you need to make, then that leads to catastrophe, because then if you don't make the decision, the universe makes it for you, is usually the way we think about it. So let's start. Let's see. Okay, we've gotten tarot. We've got the Tarot of the Old Path. We've got our Osho Zen Tarot. We've got the Antarian Oracle, Celtic Tree Oracle, our Norse Rune. We've got Wisdom of the Tao. We've got Dark Goddess Oracle, and also Voices of the Dark Mothers. We have the Essential Oil Oracle, and we have Moonology. Okay, so let's begin with the tarot. Okay, so we've got Five of Pentacles and the Tower. Okay, these are already two not very good cards. I've often said that the two main cards that represent most of the things that we worry about are either the Five of Pentacles or the Three of Swords. Three of Swords having to do with when you feel rejected or cut off, or outside of a group that you want to be part of, or you feel alone or lonely. And Five of Pentacles has to do with feeling insecure. It can be insecure about, and usually about something having to do with finances, or just about where we're living, or about the future in general. I mean, this has to do with believing in, it's like a poverty card, thinking that we have a lack of resources. So those tend to be the two things that people worry about the most. So we've got Five of Pentacles here. So we are, we are seeing that concern. And we got the Tower on the other side. And so the Tower is about waking up to things that may be a problem, tearing down false structures, seeing things for what they really are. And in the middle, we have the Eight of Rods. Now, the Eight of Rods has a couple of different meanings. Generally, it has to do with things moving very, very swiftly. It's often associated with messages and information coming very quickly. Sometimes Arthur Edward Waite would call it the Arrows of Love card. So sometimes it does mean a new relationship or a new situation that comes in very, very fast. But we've got, this... We've got this energy here of something that's happening in a very, very intense speed. And for some people, that's good. Some people who have been sitting around, it's like sitting in traffic and then finally everything moves. On the other hand, there may be people who are, have gotten kind of comfortable in the space that they're in. So this is actually something that's moving too fast, and they may feel that they can't quite keep up. And that can lead to this feeling of insecurity and doubt and of things falling apart. So, but you have to understand, though, that what's falling apart here is, you're getting rid of these attitudes. Since we're starting with the Five of Pentacles, I would suggest that this energy is, stripping away false things and bringing us to the truth of the situation. And judging from what we see in the rest of the reading, the truth of the situation is that, again, as always, when we're presented with challenges, we do have what it takes to meet them. Okay. Over here, we have the Playfulness card. This is a fire card in the Zen deck. I can't remember. It's one of the court cards. I want to say it's either the Page or the Knight. But the Playfulness card has to do with just exactly what it says. Taking time out for play, taking time out for self-care. Just allowing ourselves to do something that is quote unquote not important. We only seem to feel like we have to be producing something or doing something important all of the time. And that just isn't true. It's perfectly okay to let your hair down, to party, to do some things. You don't have to be, doing something serious all the time. You don't have to be producing all the time. We have this thing in society that, somehow, I think that's the old expression is idle hands are the devil's workshop. That if we're not engaged in some, useful activity all the time, we're somehow doing something wrong. And this would absolutely dispute that. We should spend energy in play, because really more important ultimately than all of the stuff that we quote unquote produce, which there's another expression in one of the Egyptian decks I had. It was an oracle deck, not a regular tarot, but I remember the quote was, "Think about what you're doing and think about whether it's going to matter in 10,000 years." Okay, the answer is probably no. So it's more important that you be here and that you enjoy life where you are right now. And you need to take some time for that. We may be feeling far too serious and getting far too bogged down in concerns about, but what if I don't have enough? What if the bottom falls out on this? What if I don't have the money? What if I don't have this? What if I don't have that? And, we need to be able to learn to deal with that kind of chaos and flow with whatever kind of situations come up. Because oftentimes, even if we do feel like there's a situation where, we don't have money, or we're not making money, or don't have enough of something, this to me more or less indicates, it's a temporary situation. Five of Pentacles usually represents something temporary. So, I just feel like there's a house cleaning that needs to be done. And that, of course, brings us to the Celtic Tree Oracle, because the Blackthorn is just about that. It's about cleansing, clearing out. Let's get rid of the stuff that isn't working, that doesn't belong anymore. And you have it. I ended up pulling, when I tried to pull one, two came out. So I took the second one, which is the Hazel card. And Hazel is about, it's a creative card. It's associated with some kind of creative work, whether it be writing or art or, something of that nature. So, taking something and making something with it. So as part of, and being that it's showing up as part of the cleansing process, that suggests to me that something like doing art or journaling or, just writing something. For me personally, that oftentimes has to do with writing stories. Like, these stories will just come out, and they're part of this process of cleansing things that are going on in the psyche. That doesn't necessarily have to be true for other people here, but there's this idea of cleansing, and also just leaving space to be able to create. When our mind is too crammed full of stuff that it isn't really useful to us anymore, then we kind of go stagnant. So this is about getting that flow moving again. Similarly, Rune of Antares, this is a card we've had before. And I've always likened it to either strength or temperance. It has to do with, first of all, there is that jolt of energy like we see over here with the Eight of Rods. And this is actually usually a positive thing for people who may feel like they're very drained right now, who may feel like they're worn out and drained. This gives you a fresh inrush of, of energy to move forward and do what it is that you need to do. But it also may mean that there's a lot of new information coming in that we have to integrate that may not feel familiar to us. Okay. Now, up here, we have the longevity card in the Wisdom of the Tao Oracle. And this is not the first time this has shown up either. The longevity card has to do with, as it almost implies, taking care of yourself, taking care of your health, focusing on, diet, exercise, things that are good for us, and taking care of our general well-being. And I feel like this has a connection to this card, because it's just about, making sure we take time to de-stress, to focus on taking care of ourselves. A lot of times when we're running frantically from one thing to the next, we are not taking care of ourselves. We're just, we're shortchanging ourselves on, eating during the day, or we're not getting the exercise because we're spending all day in the car or something. It's that kind of a thing. So, so there's definitely a sense here of, as we're going through all these changes, and as, we really don't want to have it be a time for anxiety. You want to have it as a time to slow down and just integrate what's going on, and all feelings, whether they're positive feelings or negative ones. There's definitely a sense here, because longevity is also a very auspicious card, and it does suggest that in the long term, even if in the short term things look like they're in crisis, in the long term, things, it's just part of a process that's going to clear out and smooth the path for you. Now we have Ran, which is from the Dark Goddess Oracle. And this card has to do with managing anger a lot of the time, and also allowing others to help you. This card can come up when we get frustrated with others, and when we don't, we think we can do things better ourselves. And so there's this idea of, accepting help that's offered, and also managing anger. And one of the things in the oracle says, take a long walk by the sea. I mean, and that again fits into the idea of relax, cool out, don't let the Leo fire energy or whatever rouse your anger. Do something that sort of calms you down and balances out your emotions. And then with the Guinevere card in the Voices of the Dark Mothers, this is a card that has to do with the ways in which we end up being confined by by duty and expectation, and the fact that not attending to that duty and expectation in the way that it can actually kill us, and inside. It's bad for our souls. It's detrimental to our psychological health. And this is about recovery. But what's interesting is when this card comes up, there's a moment of recovery there. It's like the person. I mean, I hesitate to talk about saviors because I don't think I think most of the saving goes on inside of ourselves here. But it's the idea that whatever the opportunity or the person or the situation, it's going to be in front of your face, and it's going to be like, okay, this is an opportunity to break out of that soul killing pattern. But there's a panic associated with it. Like, is it possible? And that may go back to this. This may be a time for change, and we may feel we're not up to that change, or that that the whatever is coming in is not going to be enough to sufficiently make the change. But you have to have believe in the fact that what's coming up now, even if it's different, even if it's not what you've expected, even if it's something maybe you wanted, but maybe you think, oh gee, I'm not ready for this right now, or maybe I'm not worthy of this gift or not able to do something. This suggests that, again, there's a need to accept what's offered, not to turn away from it, and not to resist the temptation to try to go back and rebuild what was there, because it's broken. Like, don't try to do that. It's just time to clean up and to move on. Okay, let me skip over this for a moment. The Moonology card, okay, the waxing crescent moon, have faith in your dreams. Yeah, literally the first message of this card is don't give up. Just because you can't see something happening right now doesn't mean that it isn't happening. And that's interesting because because again, a lot of the insecurity that we see down here often comes from the fact that we're not seeing immediate results in something. We've started something and now we're not seeing it. Longevity as well. The idea that you have to give something the long term. Don't be trying to make everything happen in this second and right now. Okay, have faith that the work that you're doing, even if not visible yet, is actually having an effect. Okay. Now the time card, this is from the Essential Oil Oracle. Our word is revive. Okay, so that brings us back over to what we're seeing here, revive. And the trigger statement they call is I cannot stand myself. We're very critical of whatever it is about ourselves. Something we've done, or the way that we look, or I don't know. There's so many ways in which we are self-critical. And the true statement would be I am aligned. Okay, so we're focusing on alignment here, getting back to the message that we see over here. And the phrasing is, go within and allow everything that is not resonant to be purged, so you can come from your heart, which is the seat of power. Okay, so yeah, get rid of these things. It's time to it is really time to let the past go, and there's going to be new circumstances coming up. On the one hand, okay, there's two possibilities here. There's going to be new circumstances that change up everything for you and change the whole nature of your plan and your game, which may be unsettling. But it can also be that you have changed up your game and you haven't seen anything yet, and you're worried that you've made the right decision. Well, you have. You just need to, take time to integrate the new. Things don't happen overnight. There's no need for anger, for impatience. We just need to balance out that fire in us with some water. Take some time out to really feel what we're feeling and make sure that we take care of ourselves. Now, the last thing I have here is the Norse rune, and I saved this one for last. This is Ansuz, and Ansuz is the rune of Loki. Okay, so this is the trickster rune. That's when we talk about this unexpected energy. This is the rune of the trickster. So it indicates usually messages that are coming. So there's like an element of the, Hermes or Mercury as well, communications, but often something unexpected, and the kinds of unexpected that takes you onto a completely new life path. So, so this rune actually brings, a kind of a gift with it. It's about, these surprise encounters and things that are unexpected that take us on new pathways. So just be aware that what's right in front of you, and whatever seems to be logical right now. Like you may be looking at all the elements of the situation and saying, well, these are the resources I have. And so you may be trying to make decisions based on that. This suggests a wild card, something coming in. And again, this is often in the form of a communication or a message, because it's got that Mercury element to it. And it will, it may surprise you, but it's not a negative thing. It's something that's going to take you onto a new pathway and into a new space. So overall, this is actually quite a good reading this week. Yes, there may be some growing pains and some doubt over new situations that are, coming up or occurring. And there may be some worry that perhaps, moving in our new direction, that we're not doing the right thing. But all of this suggests that, in the long term, we're going to see how all of this, all these changes that we are making are going to shake out. And there's definitely the sense that these are going to be for the better. So, so again, relax. Don't worry so much. Don't focus so much on your 5-year plan and on everything else. Allow these influences to come in. Enjoy yourself in the moment. And with that, I'm going to end this reading, and I hope you have a good week.